Chapter 3 Undyne, the Pontus Shanty. It was raining meteorites. Hive Galatea had fallen. It was a hive older than Tychus, and also bigger, but it suffered from the gravity quakes nonetheless. Above the ruins of the gigantic hive stood now a gigantic moon, with all its ugly and beautiful shapes, plus the giant iron-jawed face. Water sprayed out, throwing hot rocks, but not all were rocks, for some were the invading Xenos dropping from orbit. The hive was in ruins, and the orcs appeared from everywhere, hulking beasts coming for them. Lix tried to connect to Capricorn 6 while her men defended her and the governor. The orcs came out of water and everywhere. She could see in their eyes that the need to kill. A group of Marintin came to save them, but they quickly turned back against the orc tide. Lux gave her men permission to fire at will. Their last fire did little to stop the orcs. In the sky, the Thunderbolt fighter bombers appeared. Lux and her men ran from the orcs. They found a cover and closed it. The orcs tried to get in, but a wave of pressure stopped the orcs. Once they opened their enclosure, the shoreline was filled with charred dead Xenos bodies. They made a run to the pontoon shanty and put a governor on an amphibious community. The orcs came back in numbers, trying to get to Lux and her quarry. After some fights, the pontoon shanty was floating away from the hive. The water was aflame, and the thunderbolts came in for another round of bombing. Orcs came and tried to take down the boat of Lux. The pontoon shanty. She unloaded her gun into one's face, but another grabbed her by the leg. Using her commanding blade, she slashes the throat of the orc. A solid object hit the water, rocking the boat, dropping some of the inhabitants into the water. The waters of the pontoon got higher, and it started to shake while something hit it. It was a big, scarred and charred orc. Lux managed to divert its attention by shooting it with her last weapon. It was a game of cat and mouse until Lux found the little scared girl that she saved. She then started to climb up on the shanty. The orc left and moved to a different part. Lux could not hear any noise from her men. She expected the worst. And suddenly, Lux and the girl met the dark orc, while climbing. But the beast was hit by cannon fire. Lux continued climbing, and above her was Capricorn 6. Everybody was boarding it, but the lieutenant didn't want to take in the little girl and other hivers that had found refuge there. The Lord Governor intervened, ordering the lieutenant to take in the hivers. On Capricorn 6, Lux was glad she finished her mission and survived and saved the child inside of her as the one outside. Yes, she was pregnant this whole time. Yes, you find out now that she was pregnant. Regardless, while going in orbit from the ship, they saw a huge armada of freights and marine team prepared to fight, and her smile faded because it wasn't enough.